Welcome back to Bumblebee. I'm your host, Kyle McWaters.
And I'm Taylor McWaters.
And these are the top 10 messed up crimes in history you won't believe, part 2. Number 10. See ya later, alligator. A Florida man was arrested and charged with assault with a deadly weapon after allegedly throwing a 4-foot alligator through a fast food chain's drive-thru window. Joshua James threw a live alligator that he had stolen through a Palm Beach Wendy's. Let me guess, Josh. The froster machine was down, huh? Yeah, I've heard it too. He was also charged with illegally possessing an alligator. Do you have a license for this thing? Yeah? Do you mind if I... Jesus! Okay. James then drove his pickup truck to the window at about 1:20 a.m. and after being handed his drink, he tossed the alligator inside and sped off. In James's court appearance, he was banned from all Wendy's restaurants and to avoid possessing animals aside from his own dog and to undergo a mental health test. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty healthy punishment. You know how many Wendy's this guy's gotta drive past every day? Just the smell of the fries alone? That's a life sentence right there.
Number 9. Penguin Heist. Okay, back in 2012, the world did not end, thankfully. Kyle covered that in our last video. If you missed it, go check it out. But in 2012, 2 Welsh tourists got themselves a court date. Yeah, they had this bright idea. Here we go. They had a few cold ones and thought it was a bright idea to steal a penguin from SeaWorld, Australia. Look, I'm not a fan of SeaWorld as well. They suck, but don't steal a penguin. Just watch Happy Feet 1 or 2 and call it a day. That's it. Just look, but don't touch. Penguin that almost got stolen, his name was Durk. Yeah, you never guessed that one, did you? The guilty are Rhys Owen Jones, 21, and Carrie Mules, 20. They were both fined $1,000 and Durk was safely returned with no harm being done. No harm, no Durk done foul. Here we go. We grew up watching Free Willy, but Free Durk? That sounds like a movement. That's wild. I'm on board. Let's do it.
Number 8. Tie the knot. A woman and 3 men have been arrested after a huge fight broke out in a pizza shop, apparently over a wrong order of cheesy garlic knots. Hey, that'll do it. If you haven't been in a physical altercation over garlic knots, you're not eating garlic knots right. A woman apparently went crazy in a rage when a Palm Coast pizzeria put cheese on her garlic knots. Hey look, I hate cheese too, I get it. I'll say it. Her friends then joined in on the mayhem, destroying the pizzeria. Flying tubs of Parmesan cheese, fax machines thrown, cash registers ripped out of the wall. These people were pissed. Witnesses who had their dinners spoiled by the fight saw this and knew the people apparently, and were all charged with burglary and criminal mischief. I mean, I understand. That's all I'm saying. I understand. I get hangry. There's been some chairs thrown. Taylor knows.
Oh yeah, cereal buddy, Fruit Loops? All I'm saying is I'm the Cinnamon Toast Kid, Kyle's the Fruit Loops. That's it. You go on this side of the table, I go on that. Also Red Milk. Number 7, Donald Pugh. Where to start here? Okay, I included a random assortment of awful people in this list. This story, I had to share. Donald Pugh, here we go. He was suspected of arson and vandalism. So police in Ohio put out a photo of his face. They asked locals to step in and get this man caught. Get this criminal off the streets. This was back in 2016. The photo that was issued to the public was this one here. But Donald wasn't a fan, right? So he sent the police a better photo of himself for them to use. Yeah, he sent them this one. Look, Donald, the photo admittedly is much better. Okay, facial hair, you're all cleaned up, the shades are solid. That's a great addition. Really adds the criminal to your eyes. Plus, you know, gotta protect your eyesight whilst you commit arson. Gotta watch for those flames. Smart moves. Awesome. The police department got the pic, just a selfie, along with one message. The message said, "Here's a better photo. That one is terrible." Nice. Keeping it nice and short so we don't have to open the message. I like that. Surprisingly, Donald was immediately caught, and Ohio police even reached out and said, "Thanks to the power of social media and tips called into authorities, we have learned that Donald Chip Pugh has been arrested in Florida." Of course it's Florida. It's always Florida. What's up with that?
Number 6. Candyman. 2 Brooklyn men were awarded $33,000 in court over a humiliating arrest made by police officers in Coney Island in 2014. The men were arrested due to the illegal possession and distribution of although it was nothing more than a bag of hard candy Jolly Ranchers. The officers arrested the men outside of the candy store, strip searched them, and the candy was taken in as evidence. Ha! Could have fooled me with the candy store right there. The undercover cop said, I quote, "He thought it was the stuff from Breaking Bad." Like, how is this dude a cop? Yeah, you seen Breaking Bad? Yeah, just go do that. Okay, cool. Like, who hired this man? The men then sued the police department. Yeah, no It's candy. I'm in a candy store. The men were held then for 3 days Imagine 3 days being locked up with murderers and you're in on tooth decay. Also, how long does it take to see if it's candy or not? Just pop it in your mouth in the cruiser. Ah, it's raspberry. They're good. Let them off.
Number 5. Mr. Smith. Back in 2014, this criminal was caught rather quickly, as most of these are. A bank robber, for one, arrived with a terrible disguise. The guy had sunglasses and socks over his shoes. Yeah, he looked like a stupid mascot with those big sock shoes, you know what I mean? He looked like the M&M. You got it. The cashier didn't give him any money, so the failed robber left empty-handed, thankfully. Thing is, the robber had been to the bank 30 minutes earlier, and he gave the teller his full name and address. Yeah, Dean Smith. He was 27 at the time he got busted in a Welsh village, and he was sentenced to 2.5 years behind bars.
Number 4. Smells good. A 91-year-old was charged with smuggling illegal substances into Australia in 2015. Victor Twartz of Sydney could face a life in prison if he's convicted of importing 10 pounds of said stuff into the country on a flight from India. Inside soap. Soap? Soap. Like bars of soap. He told the authorities that when he was about to board his plane to return to Sydney, he was handed a bag that he was told contained gifts for someone in Australia. After he landed at Sydney, of course, a quick search of Twartz's luggage found 27 packages of soap. How smelly is this guy? Which tested positive for not soap. Apparently he didn't know he was a mule, or even know what a mule was. Come on, he's 91. Yeah, when you get to the airport, take this, give it to the boss. Oh, okay. Do you know that I invented chewing gum?
Number 3. The other pocket. Coming from Pontiac, Michigan, Christopher Jansen thought that he had the right of way. He claimed to have been searched unfairly without a warrant. Now, the prosecutor explained, however, that given the fact there was a weapon-sized bulge in Christopher's jacket at the time, it looked like something suspicious, and it turned out it was said thing that was suspicious. Get what I'm saying? In order to prove that this was not the case and that there's no way authorities could have ever known that there was a weapon on him, Christopher handed over the jacket to the judge to see for themselves. Not a bad play. Thing is, if you're gonna do that, make sure there aren't any other illegal substances in the other pocket. Gotta check the front, back, side, and side, my friend, that's it. The judge found it, and the rest is history, obviously. Yeah, I wanted to throw in a more lighter one before we get to our last two, because now it gets a little crazy.
Number 2. Grannied. An 11-year-old boy from Ohio was taken into police custody after allegedly punching his grandmother twice in the face at a Dayton toy store when she refused to buy him the toy that he wanted. 60-year-old Barbara Weeks told police that her grandson had punched her in the nose and tried to again before she ran out of the store and away from the boy in fear. Weeks then admitted to police that she was terrified of her own grandson, who was taken to the Montgomery County Juvenile Justice Center and charged with domestic violence. Can you imagine if we tried that with grandma?
Oh.
First off, that's your grandmother. You're supposed to love her and eat cookies that she makes for you. Our grandmother would have just RKO'd that kid. You know what I mean? She had picked his head up and walked out of the store nicely with it too.
And number 1, Unlucky Logan. Okay, if you haven't seen the movie Catch Me If You Can, spoiler alert, it's a great time. Gotcha, I'm not gonna spoil this. DiCaprio and Hanks at the top of their game. Young Leo stars as conman Frank Abagnale Jr., who posed as a doctor and a lawyer and a pilot and successfully evaded the FBI. For a bit. Maybe he gets caught, maybe he doesn't, I don't know, I've never seen it. Now in real life, back in 2015, Logan James, who was just 19 years old at the time, tried pulling a young Leo. Except he doesn't have the same look, so it obviously didn't work. James had breached his license conditions after being released from prison on February 6, 2015, so now he was of course getting called back to prison. Can't be doing that. Gwent police took to Facebook to ask locals to help out, but one user in the comments section started getting a lot of upvotes. Why, it was Logan James himself, on his own Facebook, commenting on the Gwent police status. Haha, catch me if you can, won't see me slippin'. Over 40 likes on the comment, of course. He then added as well, I've been walking around near home so they're not trying too hard to catch me. James was then caught hours later, and the police thanked the public for doing their part. Yeah, thanks Logan, couldn't have done it without you. Literally. Those were some pretty messed up crimes in history, and as always, if a part 2 is in your deepest, darkest desires, let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Take your jacket off, come on, stay a while.
It's cool. I'm Taylor McWaters.
I'm Kyle McWaters.
See you next time on
Bumblebee.